Yeah, hello, my people. How you doing? My name is Chinedu Anichi, your one and only celebrity CSO. Today is Friday. You know, today is Friday, and a very important day for us. Happy weekend, all of you. This is Chinedu Anichi TV, streaming live from United States of America. To be precise, where I'm streaming live from St. Louis, Missouri. And today, we're having a very important person in the show. And remember, this is Talk Show with Chinedu Anichi on Friday. And today, we're having Reverend Father Ike Ogara from Osaka Diocese. He's the director of Civic, Culture, and Morals, PPSMB, Enugu. Today, he's in the show, and it's going to be fun. So where are you? Those of you watching on Instagram, those of you watching on YouTube, wherever you're watching from, we are inviting you to come and join us. And let me have the privilege to bring Reverend Father Ogara is here live. And for those of you who are watching on Instagram, those on YouTube, yeah, Father is live in the studio. Father, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Chinedu. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Father?
I know. I'm good too.
This your silver jubilee is really radiating on your face.
Honestly, everybody is talking about it, and I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
happy.
yeah.
I
It
feel
is not
good.
easy. It's not
I feel
easy.
good.
It's not
Yes.
easy. It's not easy. I know it's not easy, Father. Yeah, you're welcome,
Yeah.
Father. Thank you. This is Chinedu Anichi TV, streaming live from St. Louis, Missouri, United States of America. And today, you're on this show. My people, you have here live and direct Reverend Father Paulinus Ikechukwu Ogara. He's from Soka Diocese and the director of Civic, Culture, and Morals, PPSMB, Post Primary School Management Board. Enugu State is in Nigeria. Nigeria is in West Africa. And here today is live to discuss the life of service, experience, exposure, interaction. Everything is a compendium of experience. Think of it religiously, think of it academically. Let me not blow the trumpet. You're going to feel it yourself. So wherever you are, come live on Instagram, come live on and share this particular live video. Tell your friend to tell your friend that Reverend Father Paulinus is here live. God bless you, Father. For protocol purposes, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay. Thank you, Chinedu. Good evening, viewers. I am Reverend Father Paulinus Ikechukwu Ogara, a priest of the Catholic Diocese of Nsukka. I am from Ubenajima town in Uzowan, a local government area. I am a citizen, bona fide citizen of Enugu State, and also bona fide citizen of Nigeria. I am proud of my state, proud of my country, proud of my town. I am the director of Civics, Culture, and Morals at PPSMB, that is a Post-Primary Schools Management Board, Enugu. I serve also as a part-time lecturer in IMT.
Institute of Management and Technology. The same Enugu, right? Good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you, my people. Yes. You have heard from the horse's mouth. This is Reverend Father Paulinus Ikechukwu Ogara, live from Ubenajima in Suka Senatorial Zone. This is one local government in Suka Senatorial Zone, Enugu State, Nigeria, West Africa. Proudly, Ansika man. Idega. Father Idega. Okay. Thank you, Father. You know, this is a platform. This platform is established on this basis. A lot of people talk about Africans. A lot of people talk about Nigerians. A lot of people talk about soccer people. A lot of people talk your stories. They make movies with your stories. They write books with your stories. But the great novelist, may his soul rest in peace, our great brother, Chinua Achebe, he said,
Hello?
It's not good for an outsider to tell your story. That the story will never end without prejudice. That the best story is told by the owner. Because you will tell your story the way it is. And the real feeling associating the story will come live. So today, this platform
Yeah.
gives people opportunity, gives Africans opportunity, Nigerians, and Soka people to tell their own story. So today is the story of Reverend Father Paulinus Ogara. I don't think any other person can tell it more than you do. Father, let's start from somewhere. We know that today you're a priest. You are about to celebrate your 25 years in priesthood, Catholic priesthood, which is not a joke. But we want to ask you, can you share experience of your little beginning with us? Let's look like, let's see how it started. Because in every glory, there is a story.
Okay, how the journey started.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, Father.
Okay. At the initial stage, I never considered becoming a priest. I never considered becoming a priest.
I want you to start like from life from Ubenajima, even before you started thinking of the seminar. How did it look like?
Well, life as a child at Ubenajima, well, at the initial stage, and I think I'm starting where I'm supposed to start. Because if you want me to start, to tell you to state how it all started, I need to clarify that it never occurred to me initially. Why? Because I was born of fallen Christians. And then fallen Christians who also had parents who were steeped in paganism. Because their parents were steeped in paganism, and my parents were fallen Christians. I didn't have the privilege other children that were born of active Christians had. But the saving grace is that my parents gave us enough room. They allowed me and my siblings that room, that freedom to explore Christianity. And so, as children, we were actually joining, visiting the priests, and attending masses, block rosaries, doing other things like other children in the church. And that was actually how I came in contact with Christianity, even though I wasn't born of people who were very active, who were very active Christians. So that freedom to explore Christianity, I suppose, prepared me, because when I entered prepared me remotely for the priesthood. Because when I entered the Adada Secondary School in Pologu, I began to be much more interested in the things, in the affairs of the church. You may like to know that at a point I was even a catechist. I became a catechist after Father Ikuobi, now who is a priest now. But then he was an ordinary student like myself. He was our chapel prefect and our catechist, and I served under him. He later handed the baton over to me. I was a catechist like him later. I attended Block Rosary, belonged to so many societies, and became known, very well known as a church boy. And people were even looking for me. As a matter of fact, every senior student wanted me to be his boy. I was very much loved at Adada Secondary School. And maybe because I started hobnobbing, playing with, and then enjoying things relating to the church and Christianity, I became so much involved in church activities. And I was loved by Fadeke. Fadeke was there celebrating. He came from Opanda to celebrate Mass for us. It was actually at Adada that I had my my Holy Communion, first Holy Communion. It was done at Adada. And then we moved from Adara to Panda, you know, to get prepared for Holy Communion. And later, got my Holy Communion, and later it was in, well, maybe we shall come to that. I don't know what you plan to ask me, but it was later when I now left to live in the father's house after my secondary school that I did my confirmation. I had my confirmation in the father's house at Abani, in Kanu local government, where I served as cook under Father Christopher Enem, who is now a Monsignor. As I said, at the initial stage, despite all these saving graces, I never contemplated becoming a priest because the environment in which I was reared, in which I was born and then reared, didn't give me that, I didn't have anything within that environment to push me or to lead me to think of becoming a priest. But then maybe God was, within all those circumstances, preparing me remotely, because at Abani, I didn't know how it happened. I became somehow impassioned with a sudden love for the priesthood. And then I went to tell Father that I want to be a priest. It was very shocking and very surprising. Father didn't believe it at the initial stage. And also, myself, it felt like a dream to me at the initial stage. Maybe, I don't know if I'm talking too much, I'm going beyond what you wanted to hear, but I think it's still part of how it was at the initial stage before I became a priest. Mm.
No, I think it moved this audio. Is this audio his own?
Hello, Father. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
At a
So
point, I couldn't hear you again.
I say you are on the track. You're on the track.
Okay.
You are giving us what we want to hear.
Okay. So it was at Abani in Nkano when I lived with Father and serving him as a cook. Yeah, that was after my secondary school education. I was doing nothing at home, and I felt that an idle hand makes devil's work. How do you put it? An idle mind is the devil's workshop. I needed to have something doing. And when Father Nem came looking for a cook, then I had finished my secondary school and I was doing nothing at home. As a matter of fact, my path to the priesthood there is something uncanny about it too. Something mysterious. Yeah. Because after listening to the story I told and how it all started, and then that I was not born into a Christian family as such, my parents had fallen of the faith, and then that they too had people that were not Christians. When you consider the environment, consider how it all happened, you will agree with me that there is something uncanny. And then even how the Reverend Father came looking for my elder brother. My elder brother by then had left home for nature. In search of greener pastures too, he had some work doing at nature. He was serving as manager in a hotel. I'm talking about my elder brother who is now late. God bless his soul. He came with our catechist, late catechist, Romanus Otas, brought this priest who served before who served he had his apostolic work in Ubene, in our place. That was why when he now when he was looking for a cook, he thought of coming to our place because he felt our people, he knew our people as honest and good. That was what pushed him to search for a cook in our town, Ubenajma. So when the catechist, who is now late, Romanus Sutas, brought him to our place, he had his eyes on my brother, who is now late too. But but by then I had finished secondary school, and as I told you, I was doing nothing. I wanted something doing. I didn't want to be idle in the village. And you may like to know, I think the world may like to know, it was not just that I was idle. I also felt that doing something and earning some money would give me something. I would save, I would make some savings. And with the savings, I will be able to train myself because I was born of very poor parents. I will be able to train myself in school. You know the kind of school I wanted? I wanted to be a barrister, a lawyer. So that's why I said at the initial stage, I never considered becoming a priest. In fact, I wanted to hit it big in life. I thought of the beautiful wife I would marry. I thought of so many nice things that the world would offer, you know, and I wanted to be ranked among those in the echelons of society, among the great. There was this passion for greatness in me. Becoming a priest was not among the many things, options I considered. It was just that when that happened, I'm talking about something uncanny, something mysterious. Because when the priest came, I didn't know what propelled me enthusiastically to tell the priest that since my brother is not around, I could fill his place. It was a response that shocked Romanus and surprised the priest. And do you know what the priest did? The priest, being a very wise man, felt that this was too good to be real and that it could be something born of infatuation. That,
Yes.
you know, normally young people and women like reverend fathers a lot. So it could be that I was drawn to the Sultan, I was drawn to the beauty, I was drawn to whatever attractions that people had, you know, that the priesthood had for people in those days. So he considered all these things and said, and laughed and said, "Oh, Paulinus, thanks for the offer." He gave me some money and told Roma, it was Roma who told me that letter, that he never expected me to come. He said, if he wants to come, he can come in 4 or 5 days' time, sort of in a week's time. And then almost a day before that day, I had packed my things and got ready. So, and then when I reached Abane on the day, the man was pleasantly surprised, and he confessed that he never thought I would be. He felt that I was so handsome, and I had finished my secondary school, and then he heard that I was very brilliant. How could such a handsome, promising, brilliant person settle for a menial job like cooking, serving in the parish house as a cook and a house boy? But that was what I did. I didn't consider it the way he looked at it. I didn't see it as menial. After all, I was born of very wretched parents, and I was from very a local place, one of the villages, local places in a Soka area, suburbs, or should I call it rural backwaters, one of the rural backwaters. So I didn't see how the father's house should be, or the work in the father's house should be considered menial. As a matter of fact, I didn't know that word menial.
Considering where you're coming from.
Considering where I was coming from. And then, moreover, more importantly, I had something in mind. I had set my sights on furthering my education.
Yeah.
That was what I had. I wanted to, and as a matter of fact, something happened even before then. I lost a chance. I got an admission in Federal School of Arts and Science, Ogoja, but I couldn't go because of lack of the wherewithal, nobody could fund my education. I had promises. Some people promised, but at the what do you call it? When at the appointed time,
at the
the
point of
person couldn't
action.
make good his promise. Yes, yes, he couldn't make good his promise. My late uncle, and so I made up my mind to fend for myself. Yes, after secondary school, I felt I was old enough to search. I mean, to look for better life and to see what I could do with my life. And so, but how things turned out, how things turned out surprised me. Like I said, it felt like a dream, not just to others, but to me as a person. When the urge persisted and I had to bow course of events. Okay. When the urge persisted, I had to succumb, and then I met Father to tell him, I want to be a priest. He did something similar to what he did at Ugoni. When he gave me money and felt that I would just eat the money and forget about it, then he said, Father, he prayed. And then after a week, come back. And as usual, it wasn't up to 4 days. I went back and said, Father, I have prayed. I have thought about it. I have made up my mind. I want to be a priest. Then he now said that I was very serious. He now wrote an introductory letter and gave me to give Bishop ANICI. That was how I was now accepted as a seminarian and then posted to Umana Ndiago. There was a federal, a school managed by the church in Umana Ndiago, Monsignor Obiorike's place. And that was even how I got in contact with Obiorike, who has remained a friend till today, who has also been so supportive. That place, I lived with Monsignor, Father CFC Ukaya at Umana Ndiago. And then, apart from other duties assigned to me in the parish house, I was also in charge of the students. I was a manager in charge of the students, then doing other things, other duties assigned to me by the priest. And that's school. The school was attracted by Monsignor Obiorike. He was not a Monsignor then, he was a father, but he's now a Monsignor. The school was attracted to his hometown by that Monsignor. I served as the manager, and when I fell sick, there was a time I fell sick, I had a little problem, Obiorike with the family. They came home and discovered that, and Obiora whisked me away to Enugu, and they treated me. He asked me to spend even 2, 3, 4 days extra to recuperate and enjoy myself before going back. And that left a very big impression on me. That's one of the reasons I cannot forget Obiora. As he has done other things, but that's one of the things he did I cannot forget. If this is a time of remembering, I think it's good. This period of celebrating my journey to the Christian, my life as a priest, is a time of remembering the past. I have to acknowledge the influences and the helps, the assistances from those providence placed in my path, those who have been helpful, who have contributed time, energy, and resources to my growth, ideas and suggestions, propping me up, then encouraging me along the path with Monsignor, and Father now a Monsignor, and Father Obiorike now a Monsignor, and Bishop ANICI, who accepted me. In fact, everything, I was good to go. After my stay, and after serving the period, apostolic work, 1 year apostolic work in Umana Ndiago, I was posted to be groomed, to St. John's Cross Seminary in Suka, to be groomed in the seminary life. Since I was coming from the secondary school, I didn't have a seminary formation. I needed to go and acquire seminary formation in St. John Cross Seminary.
So that's
there
what
I met.
that's what they used to call probe.
Yeah, probation. Yes, that was where I went probation. And then also, it's like people like me wherever I go. Yes, people like me wherever I go. At St. John's Cross Seminary, the rector Simeon Ugu of blessed memory, God bless him, fell in love with. Yes, he fell in love with me. I made me in charge of the piggery. I worked so hard, and he loved me. There was a time I did something very, something I remember with, how do I put it, with regret. But Oyi, and then also, Oyi did something he never did before. When I tell my story, I see actually, you can see actually why I believe that there's something uncanny, something mysterious about my part. When you consider everything I've been saying and then try to put the pieces together, you find how mysterious it is. I did something no student was permitted to do. And not just that I did it and went scot-free, but it is surprising how I did it. I went during recreation, during evening, what do you call it? Evening prep. Students were still in the classroom. In fact, let me call names so that people will see that I'm serious, that I'm not making up anything. Then I did the same thing. I did that thing. I committed that offense. Because one of the rules in the seminary, you must be where others are. You remember? You must be where others are. Yes. I was not where others are. And Antolinus, Father Antolinus, Aneke of Enugu Diocese, he was yes. He was in both of us were in among the probationers, and both of us conspired to go and eat mango. We went and started chopping mango while others were in the class. So we didn't know. We felt that he was not around. That was what deceived us. We looked around, we didn't see him, and we didn't see his car. We didn't know that maybe he planned that to see those he could catch. And then we went there, stayed on top of and waited for the time of the evening games, so that when other students were out for games, we would just come down and merge into the crowd. Nobody would know who came for games now and who was there before. That was what we planned in our little minds. We didn't know that Oyi was wiser and cleverer. So Oyi hid somewhere and was looking at us. And when he suspected that others might be doing the same thing, even though he saw us, he didn't want to shout. He didn't want to come out. He just waited for us to come down. And when we came down, he motioned, he pointed to us with a finger and asked us to come. He didn't want to open his mouth so that others might not know that he was there. He wanted to see others he could catch. And then we went to see Oyi. Do you know what saved us? Why we didn't go for even that offense merited instant expulsion. But we are neither suspended nor expelled. Why? I don't know. But some people said that it was because he loved me, because of what I was doing in the piggery. And then others said that there's something that I said that disarmed him. Do you know what I said that disarmed him? When he asked us, what are you doing there when others are in the class? What did you come here to do? I said, Father Rector, it was hunger. We came to chop mango. So the man was actually disarmed. That was when I had heard of it before, but that confirmed what I had and the belief that Oyi He believes so much in truth and honesty. So he left us and went to his room and gave instruction that we should start packing for, to leave the seminary. But somehow, by a sudden twist, he called us before we finished packing to his room and asked me in particular. That's why I feel that it might also have to do with me somehow. He said, Paulinus, what led you to this? So even you could do this. I said, it's hunger. I was hungry. I don't know how to put it, but actually I was hungry. I don't want to give impression that students were always hungry. But that particular day I was hungry, Chinedu. I was hungry and I needed to help myself. I didn't want to die of hunger. So he now said, you can go back to the hostel. Students, the other students, other seminarians, members of our class, couldn't believe their ears. They couldn't believe that we could behave that way. And nothing happened to me. There are other things I will not say here because of other things involved and other people involved. Because I have done many things and many things have happened to me, and yet I am a priest today. So that's a brief rundown of how it was at the beginning in my hometown, in Adada Secondary School, what life was in Albany, where I went to live with Fadenem and serve him as a cook, and then how I moved from that place to St. John's, and what happened at St. John's during our probation year. I think here suffices for how it was at the beginning.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Father. That was a very detailed one. Yeah, so it shows how meticulous you are, and especially there are names you mentioned. You know that I know them because I passed through. I was privileged to pass through the seminary too. Like when you talk of Oyi, you talk of
yes,
Adike, Father Antolinus Anyeke. You know, I know him very well. I was with him in Ikowe. I was with him also in Ikowe. I used to know. So George Alba is here, who was my classmate. He's a priest now in Germany. So his life here is watching the program. So that was a very nice one, Father. So we know that by tomorrow, is it tomorrow or next tomorrow, you'll be celebrating your...
the celebration will be done in batches.
Yes.
PPSMB family is celebrating it tomorrow.
Yeah. There's another one.
My people will celebrate it on the 1st of September.
So in 2 batches. But there's one coming tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow.
Yeah.
At PPSMB, Enugu, Post Primary Speech Management Board.
Enugu State will be celebrating you. Enugu State, you have served and put in some years, celebrating you. So I want to ask you something. This kind of secular life, because we see civil service as more secular than being in the parish as a priest. So you are more exposed to the people, you are more exposed to the protocol and the bureaucracy of civil service. How do you reconcile the two? Does it go well with the priesthood, or does it have challenges? And if it has, how did you maneuver and become successful all this while to come to the level of a director?
Wow. I think this question has many prongs. How I'm able to manage my life, as a priest,
to balance the two.
My life as to balance my duties as a priest, as a supervisor, special duties, as a writer, as a social activist, as I mean, name them. That's what you are asking, I think.
Sure.
Is that the question? Is that what you are?
That's what I'm asking for.
Okay, I believe in time management. believe in time management. I manage my time very well. I assign moments to each. You know, a man gives time to whatever he considers important. Since each of these activities are important to me, I make sure that I assign time, appropriate time to each and every one of them. So that's one, I manage my time. And remember that interest plays another major part in what a person does. I did not become a priest. I was not forced into the priesthood. If you listen to my story, I went into the priest after my into the priesthood as an adult. Although I began the journey as should I say, a school leaver when I left home to live in the father's house at Abani. So there is this interest, and I also spoke of the passion, I was impassioned with a certain uncontrollable urge to be a priest, to enter the seminary. And when I could not control or resist the urge, I had to bow to the what I regarded as decision of providence. I had to bow to that. And Father Nim played the role of Eli, the role Eli played to Samuel, as far as I'm concerned. So that interest has been sustaining me. And I think that is why, in spite of all, because I think anybody close to me knows that life has not been a barrel of laughs for me. But that interest rules my life because I love the priesthood. My priesthood gives me joy. Everything that concerns the priesthood gives me joy. I dedicate my time and my resources to it. And because I like reading and writing, because for me, they go together. I don't separate the time of reading and the time of writing. I read and write at the same time. Those who have read my How to Write know that I said they go together. It is what I get from reading, and then because of reading, I get impulses. I get what they call creative impulse to write. I capture those ideas that come while reading in a notebook. And with time, they form materials with which, the raw material they become the raw materials for my writings, for my books. My interest is not just in my work as a priest, but in anything that can help better the loss of people, that can help better society, anything that can promote human beings. And this is why you now see me not just preaching with the word of mouth, but also writing with, making my contributions with the biro, with the beak, with the pen. I'm a pen pusher. I'm a word worker. So I'm interested in whatever can uplift people, whatever can change society. And I see that what is preached to people within earshot, what is said within earshot, does not go far enough. So I need to write.
Yeah, hello. Is that like a network is coming in between us?
Because spaces. When you write, do you hear me?
I'm hearing you, sir.
Do you hear me?
Very well, very well.
When you write, you discover that you transcend the limits of space and time. becoming a priest, I see writing as part of being a good priest, as part of advancing the kingdom. More importantly, as a way of making real and active the injunction, what the injunction of Christ: go ye to the whole world and proclaim the good news. If I talk in my room without a phone like this, or without this platform, the people of the world will not hear me. But your platform now makes what we are doing here accessible to virtually everybody in the world. That is what writing does. So my passion, my interest naturally involves writing, because I see it as a way of making impact, creating impact, which is part of why I'm a priest. I don't know if I mentioned that at Sabani, when that impulse became irresistible, at Sabani, I was overwhelmed with a new impulse. The passion for greatness ceased, and then a new impulse for change, to make the world a new impulse, a new passion for helping people, for service. I now saw that it is that creating impact is not all about becoming important in life. Because somebody said it is nice to be important, but it is more important to be nice. I now saw that it is more important to change the world and make the world a better place, to recreate the world. I now saw that there is a type of greatness that comes through service. So my life, I became so much interested in serving. And all these things that I am now known for, that you mentioned, that I do as a priest, as an educator, as a writer, they all are geared towards serving humanity, making the world a better place. What I can't achieve through the pulpit, I try to achieve with my pen. What I cannot achieve with my pen, I try to achieve by working with people, trying to bring about change in society as a social activist. So all these things, once the interest is there and you manage your time very well, you discover they are not isolated.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So that's my answer to how I'm able to manage those things.
yeah, it is great. That's a very intelligent answer coming from a very well educated and groomed person. Because you were able to just let me know, making a disciple of your ideology, that both services you rendered in the social state society and the one you did as a priest, they are not isolated. That all that concerned you was just time
Yeah.
management, because you had the drive not only to end preaching on the pulpit, but going out representing the word of God, or being evangelical through writing books, authorship, and also services in one or two
Humanity.
places in the government. So, that's great. You'll be celebrating your 25 years as a priest. Noted tomorrow, Enugu State segment will kick off. Then on 1st of September, your community will be doing it with the church. As a social activist, you come from Osoka. I'm right? You come from the Soka zone.
Yes, I'm from Suka, from
Correct.
the Suka
Correct.
part of
Yeah.
Enugu State,
All
Enugu
the people
North,
that
senatorial zone.
yes, that's the Soka zone. So all the people that have always come to this show from Osoka, I always ask them this question. There is this market in Osoka called Ogige Market that was demolished. I think they are planning to build another one. And people have been saying two different things. Chinedu Anichi was here last time. I asked him. Senator Keza was here last time. He said his own view as politicians. Those people are politicians. Now you are a social activist and a priest of God. What do you think was the impact?
About the demolition.
Demolition of
About the demolition of Ogige Market.
Yes.
Well, first of all, a question like this is tempting, because if you don't handle it well, you pit yourself against the authorities, the governor, and the people in power. I am a social critic. A social activist is usually a gadfly, a social critic. I mean, yeah, is usually a gadfly. And I'm not afraid to sting people with the truth, because truth is the only pathway to bettering the lots of people, changing society. Yet, although I'm a social activist myself, I believe in constructive criticism.
Wow.
Ndị Igbo si na ada egbu ijiji n'enu ọnya. You do know what it means, na ada egbu ijiji n'enu ọnya? There are certain things I don't say in public that I prefer to say in private. But as far as the demolition of Ogige Market is concerned, it's not even about saying things in public. It's simply about being constructive in the criticism. And from what I have read, because I don't have the details of what happened, and what I mean by that is there are two parties to the case, the government party and the party of the opposition. Every other person that is not in government belongs to the opposition. I hope you understand what I mean. So
Yeah,
there are two parties to the case. The government said that enough time, an ample time was given to people. That's what the government said, just as they did in parts of Enugu here, because the demolition was not done in Nsukka alone. Then the opposition said that that was not the case. The government said that the parts of Ogige, because we have learned that it's not even all the parts of Ogige that we are demolished.
yes.
I think that's what we have had. Yes, that
It's
the
about-
part
it's
that
about-
was demolished.
It's about 3/4.
Okay, it's about 3/4. That
That
the part was the demolished belongs to the government. That's what I have also heard. They didn't demolish somebody's land or other people's land. Then the opposition retort that people in government, we are receiving royalties and money that people paid, that people that we are using the stores and the markets, some places in the market, we are paying money to people in government. So you see one thing, the government says one thing, the opposition says another. And in my book, Nigeria Must Survive, I underline one fact. For a person to be a good social actor, to play the opposition very well, to keep the government on its toes, the government has the obligation to be very open. There's this thing, there was a time the Freedom of Information Act was passed into law, but I don't know whether it has been honored. It is there. I think it's there in the Constitution, but there are still so many hidden things about the ways of the government. You don't know many things. So when you hear this, you find yourself in confusion. You don't know which one is correct. But like I said, I don't want to pit myself against the government. There is this thing we learned in theology. If you want to make a mistake, if you want to err, it is better to err on the side of caution. I hope I'm communicating. So I want to be cautious now.
Yeah.
The people that are not in government cannot imprison me if I tell lies against them. They will just say many things against me and use my name to do. But the government can imprison me. The government can remove me from office. I am an employee of government, of the government. I hope I'm communicating. So until I don't know of all the facts.
You are talking as an employee of the government now. You are not talking as a social activist. You are talking as an employee.
No, I'm talking as a social activist. No, I'm talking both as an employee, and I just made reference to being an employee of the government. It's not that I'm talking as an employee. Here, the most important thing about my life is my priesthood.
Very important.
I am here as a priest, and what I'm celebrating, if you forget, I hope you have not forgotten, is my priesthood.
Sure.
I'm not celebrating my life and as an employee. I'm talking as a citizen concerned about what is happening in Nsukka. And I'm saying that if I want to err, since I don't have the facts and figures, nobody without the facts and figures can make a constructive argument. That's the point I'm making. Have you forgotten? Take my point from that statement.
I want to understand now. Because it will not be safe.
Yeah.
It will not be safe for us to discuss this matter when you don't have the facts and figures. Because it's only the facts.
I don't have the facts because I'm confused.
It's only the facts and figures that can make a social activist say exactly the position he's holding. Now you don't have, you are very busy.
If you can bring forth, if you can convince the world now and bring forth the facts and figures and convince me with facts and figures what position, if you lay bare the facts, then I will draw my conclusion as a philosopher, because I'm not just a theologian, I'm also a philosopher. Good. I will draw my conclusion from those facts and figures. Irrespective of whose ox is God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From what you have said, I don't think it's a headway for me to continue with the question, because I assumed,
Okay.
Assumption is not permissible. So I assumed that you had facts.
Thank you.
When I asked you the question.
So
I didn't have. I know that you don't have the facts.
I didn't.
So there's no need for that. So, but it will not be complete for me as an Nsukka person, as a social activist, and you're here today, and there's something that happened in your area and I cannot ask you. So, most of the people coming.
Yes, you remember. Now, let me take you back. Let me take you back to what happened before. Chinedu.
Yeah.
Let me take you back to what happened before. I don't know if you have forgotten. You asked me a question sometime when Ideke, when they accused Ideke good. You remember I answered this way.
Yeah.
I told you that I had Ideke say these people are coming to kill. I had Ideke say that these people are armed. That so many people have been armed and they are coming to kill our people. And then he was wiping his people into a frenzy, asking them not to allow them to be slaughtered by people from Nkano.
Sure, yeah.
I heard it, they can say this. And then when you asked me the question, it's just a tempting question like this one. You remember what I answered? I told you, one, that I don't think that Ideke was causing, that Ideke was calling an all-out war against Nkano or against people. That what I read and what I understood from this statement and from what I read, the interpretation given by other people to what Ideke said, that I believed. What I believed was what I told you. I didn't play safe. I told you that what I understood from that statement is that people are coming to kill us. Shall we wait for them to kill us? In other words, it was a statement bordering on self-defense. It was not a statement, it was not a call. It was not calling people to go to war, to take up arms against the Nkano people or other people. I think Ideke should know better. I can't see Ideke thinking and behaving that way. I just saw people politicizing it and then maybe using propaganda to antagonize people with that statement. You know, but that what I saw there was somebody who felt threatened and was calling his people to join him and make sure that our people are not killed. Get my point to let the world hear me now. Whether he was right in what he said is out of the point. I'm not talking about whether he was right. I'm limiting my comment, my interpretation to what he said. What he said and what people interpreted, people related that happened. So if anybody, for whatever reason, should ask people to take up arms and fight other people, even the government, for instance, if that thing we are true, the government wouldn't leave Ideke to go scot-free. Calling people to rise, calling his people to take up arms against. No. Father Ogara believes in self-defense, but Father Ogara does not believe in war. Because there is a war of blame and there is a war of self-defense. The two must be distinguished from each other. There is a distinction between the two. I just brought that. I know you didn't ask me something about this, but you asked that sometime in the past. I brought that to tell you who I am. And if you read my Nigeria Must Survive and other books I write, and if you ask about me, I have not become a priest. I tell people that I have not become a priest to save faces. People say that I'm fearless, but I tell them that I'm not fearless. That nobody in this life is fearless. So I know what I'm saying and I remember what I said. Nobody, quote me, nobody in this life is fearless. Just say that I'm courageous. That's all. I'm courageous. And I've done many things that actually show that I'm courageous. But because I have also failed to do many things I'm supposed to do, I'm not fearless.
Yeah.
Out of fear, I've not done many things.
That's nice. That was a good tickle. You know, you're a social activist and we know what you have confronted. Not now. If anybody say you're fearless, it could be an exaggeration, but it is not completely untrue because you have done some fearless things. You have shown some fearless tendencies in approaching issues, especially issues of the society where some other priests will like to dodge. They will not say it, they will dodge. But you have not dodged like that. So if people say you are fearless, that I don't think the person is completely saying something out of place. It's just that because of your critical mindedness, you can now, as a philosopher, deduce the difference between.
We may accept that. I think I know what you are driving at. Let's accept that from an analogical point of view.
So thank you. Tomorrow you'll be celebrated, and on 1st of September. What is the message you want to give to your audience, your followers, those who believe in you, those of us who you have left a legacy you don't know? There are many people you have made disciples of your ideology, made disciples of the way you carry yourself. You are not the only priest existing in Enugu. There are reasons. This is the second time I'm calling you on interview. I called you on interview during the election. Today again, I'm calling you on interview. There's something special about you. And there are people who are watching you. There are people who are following your footsteps. For 25 years, you have been a priest. What will you tell us, those of us who are disciples of your ideology? What is the 25 years Silver Jubilee message to your followers?
Okay, thank you for this question. My message is simple. I have a motto. My motto is live, love, and share. That's my personal motto: love and share. And then I have I am committed to sharing my life and making a difference. I'm committed to helping people with my knowledge and my skills. And that is why, as a priest, as a writer, as a supervisor special duties in charge of religious moral education in Enugu State, I do not shy away from anything relating to helping people in any way. I try to use my talents that the Lord has given me. Whatever I'm able to do, I try to use that to impact, to make an impact. It is all about making an impact. When people say you have not been a parish priest since you became a priest, why? Is it that you have chosen not to be a parish priest? I simply tell them that it is the bishop, the diocesan bishop, with his consultants, that determines places where somebody should work, that assigns roles and duties to priests. Although they are humans and can make mistakes, this is the church, the way the church operates. So, and what the church is looking at is what the impact you are able to make. The church will tell you, as thank God you are an ex-seminarian, the church will tell you, bloom where you are planted.
Yeah.
And when I look back,
wherever is planted.
When I look back, I see that I bloomed in all the parishes I served. I bloom in PPSMD. I bloom in House of Jesus and Mary Parish, where I stay in Enugu, where I have been given a new name. They call me the John the Baptist of Palolo North Aniki. In Ubenajima, I have acquired many titles. The Sophia one of Ubena, and you must have heard that I have a title that is very, very strange. I'm the only person, and nobody has ever had that title in Ubenajima. Mgbaliba Amaguzodegu. You know Mgbaliba Bell. Yes, yeah, and that is one of the reasons people say that I'm fearless, because I don't care whose ox is God. I say my mind and do what I must do, irrespective of people's, whose ox is God. So I do these things because of my belief in love. Thomas Paine said, the whole world is my country. All mankind are my brethren. To do good is my religion. I borrowed that and modified it and said, the whole world is my family. All human beings are my brothers and sisters. To love is my vocation. So it is all about love. I preach love, I live love, just as my father and my grandfather, they were known as people whose life preached love. So I am, the message I'm giving is that of love. And when you look at our world, you look at the church, Reverend Chinedu Anichi, a radio evangelist of the intercessory prayer camp, he was asking in a very jocular fashion, Methodists, are you friendship with Presbyteria? Sorry, not Reverend Chinedu Anichi. Reverend Chinedu Anichi said, are we still brethren? But to make it clearer, Zebediah, now called Methodist, are you friendship with Presbyteria? Aladura, give me the answer. He said, Catholic, are you happyable with Siemens? So even within the universal church, love is in exile in so many hearts. Love. And so I believe in love, and I want love to reign in hearts. I want love to rule in parishes, in dioceses. Just as I'm in Enugu diocese, I'm a priest of Nsukka, but I'm welcome in Enugu. Enugu diocese, without the diocesan bishop, do you think the priest who is in charge of PPSMD will champion the cause of the celebration of Father Ogara tomorrow? It will not be possible. But they have known that the church is missionary. That is all about preaching the message of the kingdom wherever you are, blooming where you are planted, doing what God wants, what all of us should do. So my message is the message of love. I want people to see what they can learn from my own life of love and from my books that in various ways, in many ways, have to do with love. Yes, there is this apostle that is known as an apostle of love in the Bible, John. Call me an apostle of love if you like. I want love to rule. In fact, if there is love everywhere, there will be less problems for people to solve. Love is the only thing that does not offend any human being. A person who loves somebody, as our people say in Igbo, okay, from Madonanya, adatuyon. We can inflict injuries and harm on people simply because we lack love. Even in Nigeria, if there is love, there is a book that followed an updated and an edited and updated version of Nigeria Must Survive. The title is How Nigeria Can Survive. And one of the chapters talks about love. That love is the solution to Nigeria's problems. Because if the Hausa love the Igbo and vice versa, we will not be inflicting all the trouble, all these problems. Igbo must go, Igbophobia. All these things will not be there. That is why I believe in sensitizing people. And I use this opportunity to call for love. Because if there is love, and I share the belief that we are better off as one Nigeria, even though there is no one Nigeria now. But we are better off as one if we can make it. Well, I'm all for anything that can make life better. If it becomes an impossible task, then let us part in peace. Yes, that's what I've said in How Nigeria Can Survive. If we cannot live as one, then let's part in peace, but not in pieces. So my message to people in the church, to people outside the church, to Nigerians, to humanity in general, is love. Let's love more and hate less. I'm done.
That is a great message, Father. And that's the message of love. I think that is the summary of life. Because love is everything. If we can love, that is the solution. Both in the church, both in Nigeria, globally. You talk of any problem, you will see that the problem starts with lack of love. Because if we have love, there are certain things, our problem is half past. So thank you, Father. If you see we have spent 1 hour and we don't want to drag you past your 1 hour. And finally, thank you. We wish you, congratulate you for a very well spent and divinely directed and orchestrated 25 years of service to both the church and humanity. Congratulations, Father. But finally, before we draw the cut, what can you tell the world about Chinedu Anichi TV platform?
Wow. I've been following Chinedu Anichi platform And I've seen that Chinedu Anichi platform is doing well. Chinedu fishes for people who have the wherewithal to educate minds, people who have what it takes to teach, to transform, to impart knowledge, to inform. So what I can tell people is to make a point of visiting Chinedu Anichi TV to learn one or two things. You remember at the beginning why we were telling people about today, I told them that it was going to be fun.
Sure.
That was part of, that was a way of inviting people to Chinedu Anichi TV. Yes, that was a way of doing that. And today, I repeat, whoever has time to visit Chinedu Anichi TV should do that. And he will not regret doing that. He will get value for his money, for his data. I have seen a lot and I've heard a lot. Many of the people we interviewed here, I learned a lot from them. I also pray that some will learn something from my own story. I know that there is no time because I didn't know what you wanted to ask me. In fact, if I had wanted you to ask me, what am I celebrating or things like that, so that I will tell you why I'm celebrating. What are your experiences? What have you experienced in this life? But let's wait, maybe before the next, you ask me some of those things, so that because I'll still celebrate again.
Okay,
my people will still
it's
celebrate
okay.
me again.
Okay, for today, what we want to ask you is, on our schedule, what we want to ask you is what we ask you. So, but when your village wants to celebrate you, we can interview you on 25 years
Yes.
anniversary. So today, what I captioned it was life of service, and
Okay. Now I see.
you have really shown us what it means that you serve, why you serve,
Yeah.
how you served. And from the reaction of our audience, we know that they are impressed. And really what I wanted to bring out today is what they are celebrating tomorrow.
Okay.
As a priest, you were able to navigate the two very important positions and use your talent and potential for the two, and impacted positively and greatly in the life of human beings within your own jurisdiction. And that is what is important for today. Tomorrow, if you are celebrating their 25th birthday, we can just interview you on the 25 years anniversary alone. You can now tell us details.
That's good.
What you want to. If I am speaking on, there are some questions that should not come. If that is the only thing we're talking about today. If we are just talking about the 25 years alone, we can still call you back before the 1st of September on the show.
Okay.
And we'll caption that one.
Okay. Thank you so much.
As a priest, 25 years anniversary as a priest.
You have given me an expo. I was prodding you to give me expo so that I prepare very well.
Thank you, Father. I'm very, very grateful for your coming and for your humility and for your time. Tomorrow we are celebrating. You still got time to be with us for an hour, 16 minutes today. We are very, very grateful. I thank our audience. We had about 120 something people that were watching till now. When we called it, they started disappearing. But it's okay. We thank God. We thank you also. We thank even those who are helping in the house to make sure they tidy up some things for this interaction to be possible. God bless you, Father. God bless you. Congratulations.
And bless you too.
Congratulations.
Thank you so very much. God bless.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, my people, today was a very tough day. Today we had Reverend Father Paulinus Ogara, Reverend Father Ikechukwu Ogara Paulinus. Yes, today. And you can see it was life of service. He's a priest for 25 years, but he has been working in Enugu State with Enugu State government as a supervisor, as a director of civic, culture, and moral department of PPA Post Primary School Management Board in Enugu State. So he has a lot of experiences and he's a social activist. He has written a lot of books about Nigeria, about the society, about it. That's why we invited him to ask him one or two things, and we heard from him. God bless you. God bless Father Ogara. Remember, we'll continue to bring back to back. Tomorrow, we're having a great man. There's a man that we call Don Christ. We'll be having Don Christ tomorrow. Don Christ is one of our big boys in Igbo land. Don Christ is the CEO of Value Integrated. Value Integrated it has construction, it has the trading part. It's like it's a group of company integrated. So he's a heavy guy with experience and exposure. So Don Chris will be here tomorrow, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, 2 p.m. Central American time. Don't miss it. God bless you. Remember, hello. So Chinedu Anichi TV is here today, and I'm drawing the curtain for the day. I love you. When I say I love you, I mean it. Don't hesitate to watch. For those of you who were unable to meet us online, watch our videos offline, and God will continue to bless you. Thank you.